Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at another Transformer from Age of Extinction. This time we've got Autobot Hound. Let's hop into the photo tent, take a look. First up, you'll notice that they do have the Age of Extinction logo up there in the corner. They also have that Transformers branding down the side. This year it's the white stripe, and then they put this clear overlay with Transformers written in red to make it stand out there, so that actually looks pretty nice. You've got Hound's look from the movie up there with that official movie artwork, and then you can see they've got the animated look of Hound down here. So they're going to do a much better job, I guess, this year of connecting in your mind the movie and the animated series together, so you've got that extra piece of artwork there. Then on the back, you can see his quick draw power here. They're showing him with his gun drawn. Changes in 8 steps, and they've got the steps here on the back. Now, generally with these figures, they would normally have it folded up in a sheet of paper, the instructions on the inside, and put it down under his feet. But I guess because these are easier transformations, and this is more of a kid-friendly line, it doesn't take that much to transform them, so they just have it on the box. And really, you only have to run through these transformations once or twice, and then you've got it in your head, and it doesn't really matter anymore. But he does change in 8 steps, so there you go. Alright, so now with the magic of video editing, we're going to take him out of his package, and let's take a look at his robot form. Okay, now, one of the things you'll notice, obviously, about these figures, being part of the movie line, is there's a lot of detail going on in the head and face area, and that's just one of the things that they added to the movies for whatever reason, including Hound and his beard. So he's got a robotic beard there. The artwork showed him munching on a cigar, but if you look closely, you'll see there is no cigar there. Or maybe it's actually sculpted in that tangle of robotic hair, but they didn't paint it, didn't differentiate it in any way. But the figure itself, as it stands, you can see his legs are actually part of this sidewall here, so they don't actually move a whole lot. They flip as part of the transformation, but there's going to be no real posing you're going to be able to do with the legs. The arm on this side does move freely, and it does have a joint in the elbow, so you get a little bit of extra movement out of this arm, which is actually pretty nice. But on this side, it really doesn't do a whole lot because his action feature is built into this arm. You can see his gun is actually underneath his arm, kind of hidden almost underneath. Just kind of back there, and from the back there's really nothing special. You can see that there's a lot of just empty hollow space here. Doesn't take up a whole lot of room, not a whole lot of bulk to him. He does feel very light and very empty. But if you want to look at his special action feature, up here on his shoulder you actually lift up this tab, and then as you flip it, it flips his gun up into position. So that's his quick draw feature. So he's just minding his own business. Hey, I'm not hurting anybody. No, I don't have any weapons. What are you going to... Bam. He's got you, and you're a goner. There's a little bit of paint on the gun itself. It is a shiny black, so it does have a nice sheen to it. But the problem is, I might actually want to pose him like this with the gun out. I think that actually looks pretty cool, but you can't do it because as soon as you let go, it folds back. So as far as display goes with this figure, if you want him in robot mode, you're pretty much just going to show him off like this and maybe move this arm somewhat if you want to do something else with it. But otherwise, for the most part, really all you're looking at here with this arm is to just leave it like that, because there doesn't appear to be any way, there's no tab or anything you can stick it into to hold it out. As soon as you let go, it goes right back. Now there is a lot of detail in the figure. You can see that there's a lot of stuff going on that they did sculpt into it. So as far as the sculpting goes, it does look pretty interesting, but there's just not a whole lot of interaction that you can do with it. Now, as far as transforming this figure, it says what you want to do first is, let's see, you want to flip the gun down, I guess. Flip this arm up, and there's a tab here. Are we supposed to tab that into place? I'm not sure how this works. This is one thing, I usually don't show myself doing the transformations of these characters because I usually do a terrible job the first time I transform them. I'm really bad at following directions, instructions, and so I hate showing the world how I kind of struggle with these things to get them to transform and whatnot. But I figure since these are movie figures that just came out, you guys might want to see that, so I'll make the sacrifice, look like an idiot here, and try to get this stuff to work, even though it doesn't really seem to want to a whole lot. As far as these arms and legs go, it looks like this stuff is just supposed to kind of fold back out of the way. But I still don't understand what the gun is supposed to do here. The instructions are not always the best on these at explaining where things are supposed to go. This gun, part of the problem is this gun is painted with this color, so it's easy to recognize, but they didn't actually paint it in the instructions, so it's kind of hard to tell how some of these pieces fit together. You bring this around. You drop this, oh I see, back like that, and that's it. I guess that's it. That's him in his truck mode. There doesn't really seem to be a good place to put the gun to get it out of the way. It doesn't really slide up between his legs to move out of the way, so it's kind of hanging down there. Same with his hand. His arm tabs into the side here, but the hand is just kind of dangling out the bottom. And there's his head. You want to look at the bottom, there's his head right there coming at you. Now, to be fair, this is a kid-centric line, so it's not built around as much the idea of the alt mode looking that great or the posability of the robot itself. It's really about the idea of you can transform it, and then once you do, you are able to shoot things, do his action feature, and that kind of stuff. So, you know, I as an adult, not too fond of this line of toys, but I can see how, you know, perhaps my 9-year-old son might prefer this because this is a little bit easier to transform. He doesn't have to worry as much about getting the pieces aligned correctly, and it's more about having the ability to flip out that quick draw, and there you go. So you can do a little bit of storytelling with the fact that those pieces move like that, but the figure itself, as far as standing on its own as a you know, transformer, you're not going to be putting these next to your masterpiece figures or your generations figures. These are more or less just for kids. So there you go. There's your look at Autobot Hound from Age of Extinction with his quick draw action feature. If you want to check out more toy reviews, comic reviews, great things like that, make sure you go to popculturenetwork.com. Look for all that great stuff. If you have any follow-up questions for me, you can find me on Twitter. It's at PCN_dirt. You can also call our 24-hour voicemail line. It's area code 217-953-4025. And if you want to go to jointheforums.com, you can talk to other toy collectors and toy fans. You talk about these toys, talk about new toys you bought, talk about any toys you want in the whole world. You can check all of that out there. That's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.